It's late September. Your engine crew of 4 has been assigned to a prescribed fire in southern Idaho. Daytime temperatures are in the high 80s with minimal precipitation the past few months. A red flag warning is in effect for strong winds in the area. Wetting rain is expected the next few days, so the burning window is closing rapidly. Primary vegetation is subalpine fir, lodgepole pine, with a mixture of sagebrush and grass. The time is currently 21:30. Initial firing operation commence. The fire starts to build momentum with strong and shifting winds. Numerous spot fires occur but are quickly contained. Your engine crew is assigned to grid the green for spot fires near a private land boundary. This is not an uncommon ask for firefighters, so you happily accept the mission. Once you engage, you begin to feel uncomfortable with the situation. It is now close to 2200. You hear numerous spot fires reported over the radio. As you stomp through dead and downed timber slash and crawl over large downed logs, you start to think about escape routes if a spot fire becomes established in your patrol area.
Having one or two of the watchout situations present is common, but as they started to pile up, we felt more unsafe with our working environment. I decided to start naming watchouts we were encountering out loud so my fellow crew members and captain would hear them. As I identified the 4th or 5th watchout, my captain pulled us out of that area and informed the holding boss of his decision to pull off the line. We regrouped and came up with a better plan to re-engage and accomplish our goals.
The IRPG holds a substantial amount of knowledge across a broad range of topics. To maximize this resource, one must know how to find the various tools within. One such tool is the risk refusal process. Follow along in the IRPG as we identify this tool, when to use this process, and how to effectively use the process. Every individual has the right and obligation to report safety problems and contribute ideas regarding their safety. Supervisors are expected to give these concerns and ideas serious consideration. Your safety is your responsibility. If your mission doesn't feel safe, you must speak up. It is a leader's responsibility to address concerns from their followers. The best time to address these concerns is during briefing, before engaging in the task. When an individual feels an assignment is unsafe, they also have an obligation to identify, to the degree possible, safe alternatives for completing the assignment. Turning down an assignment is one possible outcome for managing risk. If the original plan cannot be accomplished safely, you need to work with leadership to develop an alternative action plan. A turndown is a situation where an individual has determined they cannot undertake an assignment as given, and they are unable to negotiate an alternative solution. The turndown of assignment must be based on an assessment of risk and ability of the individual or organization to control those risks. Individuals may turn down an assignment as unsafe when there is a violation of safe work practices. Environmental conditions make the work unsafe. They lack necessary qualifications or experience. Defective equipment is being used. Examples of safe work practice violations include not utilizing proper personal protective equipment or not following work rest guidelines. Weather reports and tailgate safety discussions can help identify environmental changes throughout each shift. Reference the Fire Environment section in your IRPG for specific conditions to look out for. Checking a pilot's card is common practice in aviation. Checking a firefighter's incident qualification card is much less common. You should never work outside the scope of your qualifications. Further, you should refrain from practicing a qualification that is expired. To do either is to put both yourself and others at risk. Your ego is not worth someone's life. Always inspect equipment before use. If equipment is deemed defective or damaged, flag it, label it, and remove it from service so no one else accidentally uses it. Document and resupply with adequate equipment. Looking back at the scenario previously discussed, which watchout situations can you identify? At what point do you need to pause and reevaluate tactics based on observed watchouts? The following steps will be used when turning down an assignment. The individual directly informs their supervisor they are turning down the assignment as given. Use the criteria outlined in the risk management process to document the turndown. The risk management process, 10 standard firefighting orders, and the 18 watchout situations should be on the forefront of every wildland firefighter's mind. These tools have been won with the highest cost, human life. We should take them to heart and actively use them in our daily operations. When turning down an assignment, these tools provide a framework in which to address observed hazards or risks that must be mitigated. As a culture, we continue to lose battles when we disregard them. When a watchout situation arises, you should make it known and mitigate the risk if possible. You should never fight wildfire if any of the 10 standard firefighting orders are broken. The supervisor notifies the safety officer immediately upon being informed of the turndown. If there is no safety officer, the appropriate section chief or the IC should be notified. This provides accountability for decisions and initiates communication of safety concerns within the incident organization. The safety officer and leadership's responsibility is to support any decision that prevents harm to firefighters. They are tasked with developing safer alternatives that meet mission objectives. At no time should turning down an assignment be looked at as a negative action. If the supervisor asks another resource to perform the assignment, they are responsible to inform the new resource that the assignment was turned down and the reason why it was turned down. Leaders must consider both resource capabilities and risk exposure when developing a plan. Leaders need to be accountable and transparent with their authority. If an unresolved safety hazard exists or an unsafe act was committed, the individual should also document the turndown by submitting a SafeNet or SafeCom form in a timely manner. These documents help prevent future injuries to personnel and/or damage to equipment. There should be no stigma associated with submitting these. These actions do not stop an operation from being carried out. This protocol is integral to the effective management of risk as it provides timely identification of hazards to the chain of command, raises risk awareness for both leaders and subordinates, and promotes accountability. Mitigating risk and finding options to accomplishing goals is everyone's responsibility. Just because a specific task is turned down due to risk, a different approach may safely meet the same incident objectives. Looking back at the scenario previously discussed, what alternative solution might you propose to safely accomplish the leader's intent? Fighting fire is an inherently dangerous job. As leaders, we are responsible for communicating known risks to our resources. As resources, we must choose safety when accepting and engaging in a mission. This is achieved through honest dialogue and collaboration up and down the chain of command. The risk refusal process is a tool that gives every firefighter a platform to voice their concerns. If you have a bad feeling about something, speak up. Your voice could be the difference between life and death. A safer work environment is created when the risk refusal process is properly used. Remember, your safety is your responsibility.